Hey everyone, it is the start of February, so we all know it's time to discuss the essential reading materials. Hey everyone, I hope you're well, playing and or making the games that you all love. You're joining me, your host, Max Pears, where we get to discuss more about level design and game design and development with you amazing gurus. So thank you all for joining me. I do hope that you're having a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending when you are listening to the show. And with this one, for those of you who are new to the show, at the beginning of each month, I do a little kind of recap of my essential reading, which is kind of articles, videos, podcasts that I found really useful from other amazing developers. Because after all, I do not know everything, and there's amazing developers out there who know so much, so I always want to give a shout out to them, my brothers and sisters in the industry, and, you know, just give them the attention they deserve and what we can learn from it all, because we can always, as developers, learn more. And with that said, speaking about learning, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is GameDev.tv. You might remember them back when they joined me for one of the episodes with Rick and Sam, and we were talking about their course, indie development, and much more. So I've now partnered up with them because they are a great provider of game development courses where you can learn an array of different skills and get a variety of knowledge from their courses online. And the great thing with them is their courses roughly cost around about from $190 to just over $200. But by using my links in the description, you can actually get them for just $12, which is great news for all of you. I myself has already purchased them. Now in below, there's going to be a fair few different courses. I've selected the best that I think will really help you out if you are a game designer or level designer. In there, for those of you who use Unity, you'll get different courses on 3D programming in C#, 2D programming in C#, and how to make games in Unity without any programming. But don't worry, if you use UE4, Unreal 4, I also have you covered, because we have the talk on blueprints, breaking them down, as well as getting more knowledge on how to use them within the editor, as well as cinematic design for Unreal as well. So down below will be a link in the description. As I said, it's a great deal, down to $12 for each of those courses there. So make sure that you grab it. Like I said, I've already picked up the 3D programming in C#. So if you want to improve and learn more, then make sure to click down in the links below. Now with those great deals shared with all of you, let's actually move on to our next topic. Hold on guys, you're going to hear me just checking stuff because I've got my little notepad. Make sure that I don't miss anything on this episode. Trying to be more prepared and more responsible as well with the podcast. Okay, now my rambling is done. We're going to go to the very first topic, and this is the Kingdom Hearts conclusion. This here is a blog that I've seen on Gamasutra. Now this is part 1 of 5. There is a fair few parts in this. But it's by a passionate fan and another developer talking about the narrative design in terms of the story and the plot, and what he likes and believes that could be improved on this article, which I think is very interesting because of the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 has, I don't think necessarily been in development, but this sequel has taken a fair few years. I mean, like in between that, they released many different games as well. But to get the actual final part of this episode, it's a very interesting one. Again, his thoughts on where he believed it, it helped to wrap up the story, but where it kind of led to more questions. And this is kind of a tie-in as well. This was written before, but for those Kingdom Hearts fans who are listening, there was that DLC, Remind, I think it's called, that released, I think, last week, if not last week, the week before of recording this episode. So it brings up some very interesting points even before that came out, but I think it still does a great job of mentioning things that can be improved. I think what's great to learn about this is coming at it from the fact that how you should tackle stories and narrative. I think that's a good thing to learn from this, because Kingdom Hearts has some phenomenal things to take away from it, and there's always something to learn. So I think it's a great one for those of you who are more interested in story and narrative, which also is a bit of a spoiler because next episode is going to be about Kingdom Hearts 3. So yeah, it'll be a nice one if you want to read up and brush up on your material before checking out next week's episode. Okay, now we're going to move on to part 2. This here is on God of War, and this is a video on YouTube sitting down with the director of photography and cinematic designer, breaking down how they created an entire experience, that whole dynamic cinematic experience with just one shot. And I've been really fascinated by this. They did a podcast recently talking about it as well. And just thinking about how they did this, and also the artistic choice on why they did this as well. Always great to hear. And just to get behind the kind of, the, I guess, literal and figurative camera to see and hear what was their choices behind this. What was the benefit as well as the struggles in terms of technical limitation. So I thought that was a very, very interesting one. And those of you who know me, I'm a big God of War fan. So just to hear more and more of it, I think is always super important there.
Love games? Love game design? We do too. So why not help us here at Level Design Lobby spread the word? With Patreon, from as little as $1 per month, you can do just that. And new for 2019, we have more reward tiers and even more awesome perks on offer, such as access to our community Discord, level design weekends, exclusive talks by professional designers, one-on-one sessions, and much more. Sound interesting? Then head on over to patreon.com/level design lobby for more information and to pledge your support today. As always, we'd like to say a massive thank you to all the game gurus who've backed us so far. It's thanks to your generous support that we can continue to grow, pursue new opportunities, and bring you new, awesome, and exciting content. So thank you. And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
The third one here is going to be an article called The Use of Cover, which is a fantastic article breaking down the different ways that we can use cover in different scenarios and encounters, whether that be stealth encounters or, bombastic combat encounters, using and showing the different purposes available from cover. What is it that it can bring to the table that you may not have thought of? What is it that it can really help with to encourage players to use it, but also to bring a bit more of a emotional experience along with it as well. Very good one. I really did like that one there, and it is just a good article. I always think it's interesting to see. I've not worked with many stealth games, so to hear especially about the first part of stealth cover, I think is a very important one. Definitely just to help with you grasp the basics of stealth as well. And now we're going to move on to the final article. And this here is Module Level Design by Pixel Mystique. Those of you who may remember, Pixel Mystique is a YouTuber and designer that I teamed up with earlier last year, in which I did an interview on his show, and he came onto this show, and he came onto the Level Design Lobby, and he's creating his own little kind of dungeon crawler level, and he talks about how he sets it up with modular level design pieces. So for those of you who are interested to learn about this, it's a great place to start because it's its own little mini-series. I think he has 3 videos in total about this, but I'll be linking to the first one below. And again, him expressing why it's helpful for the project he's on, what he gains from it, the benefits of using modular pieces, as all that in there. So that there is my top 5. I do apologize for it being quicker than usual. The reason is I've had a very busy first month already, but I've managed to get to read and watch a few things. But I do hope for those of you who are always interested in learning more that you can get a lot out of this. And before I get to the outro, I just want to give a shout out to one of the Patreon members, Kat, because she has asked me to do a recap, which was some great feedback from Kat. So this here, for those of you who want to remember what I just said, now remember all the links to these talks videos will be in the description down below, so you can get to them super duper fast. So the first article was Kingdom Hearts 3's story. The second one was God of War's one-shot camera, interviewing one of the, I believe he's the director of cinematography and cinematic designer. 3 was the use of cover, how we use that in different situations in terms of stealth and combat encounters. And the fourth one was modular level design by Pixel Mystique. So that there was the 4 that I recommend to all of you. Alright everyone, if you do want to reach out to me, you can so by emailing into the show at leveldesignlobby@gmail.com. If you want to get bite-sized level design tips as well as contact me as well, you can do that so on Twitter, which is @MaxPairs. And for those of you who want to keep supporting this podcast and make sure that we keep getting better, growing and expanding, do head over to patreon.com/leveldesignlobby, where you can get some perks, improve on your level design skills, improve on your portfolio, as well as help the show improve. So everyone, take it all easy, and I'll catch you all next time.